K-Links TV, the leading experience.
Good day once again, viewers. We are here again on K-Links TV. I'm Abimbola Makinde, and with me, as usual, is Mr. Kayode Olondari.
Good to see you again.
Yes, we are on your favorite program, Trending National Issues. And today we are discussing the aftermath of Ekiti election, the recent Ekiti election, governorship election. The aftermath, the aftermath, as it that there was allegations, we have allegations of vote buying. So, but it's no more news that the people of Ekiti State have decided who in the next 4 years among the political parties that will be at the ends of its affairs. Yeah. So they have voted for Mr. Abiodun Oyebanji of the All Progressive Congress, APC, and as the governor of the state. Now, according to the result declared by just a brief of the lowdown of what really happened. According to the result declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, it's added that Oyebanji of the All Progressive Congress scored a total number of 187,057 votes. Engineer Segun Oni of the SDP, the Social Democratic Party, polled 87,211 votes. And the People's Democratic Party candidate, governorship candidate, Mr. B.C. Kolawole, who came third, scored 67,457 votes. Shortly after the announcement of the result of the election that Oyebanji was declared as the winner, there were jubilation in Ado Ekiti, residents trooped to the street, all these, and even in Kogunsi, Ekiti West, where the governor-elect came from, there were jubilation in the dead of the night of last Saturday. But the SDP candidate, Engineer Oni, a former governor between 2007 to 2010, has vowed that he will be
heading for
the tribunal.
For the courts.
Yeah. Said there were vote buying. His agents failed to sign the forms of the result. I said, no, he's not signing. Based on allegation of that people were induced to vote that with money, that there were hoodlums, that the ruling party the APC brought hoodlums, and that electoral malpractice and all sorts of malpractices. And also, the candidate of the agent also of the Action Democratic Party, ADP.
Okay.
Yeah, in reaction to the result, he said, in spite of having polling units, that what they have in Ekiti election, the units, they were vote buying centers. So vote buying centers. But the APC, the spokesman, the head of the campaign organization of Abiodun Oyebanji as campaign organizer, said, yeah, they dared Segun Oni of the SDP to go to tribunal if he has the proof. If there were allegations, if he can prove that it was the APC that did all this and all that. There were reports that by the EFCC, the anti-graft agency, that some persons were caught with large sums of money buying votes. We don't know who and who these people are until further investigation. They were handed over to the police. And at the same time, there is this thing, we don't know the party they represent. But this issue of vote buying, this is a test run. It's like a test run for what we expect in 2023 election. The vote buying. How will you react to the vote buying? Because it's a huge allegation. See, people, like in the Yoruba, they say, sell your vote and go and cook at home.
Well, thank you very much. It's unimaginable what will happen in 2023, when we have the presidential election, knowing fully well that the two contenders for the position of the president of the nation, as the two of the two leading contenders.
Okay, I understand.
They are what I would like to call money bags. And if what the report we hear about, that we're hearing about Ekiti state election is anything to go by, if it is actually true, then you can imagine what will happen in 2023, because you know that election will go nationwide, and it will. I can't imagine what what level of vote buying will take place at that time, if truly these allegations are correct. But you know, I don't want to dismiss this allegation as being without. I mean,
or loose or something.
I don't want to dismiss it. But I will employ that all the agencies, all the security agencies, should wake up, should rise up to their responsibilities and try as much as possible to stop. Now, let me remind you that the winner of the Ekiti election had just 1,887. 1,887
557
votes. What if there were no money induction? What about if nobody was induced with money? How many votes would they? Because for me, he is far from being a popular candidate. The governor elect.
Is he not popular? Is that
there are 8 million people in Ekiti State, and he could only pull 187,000 votes or thereabouts. That doesn't sound like a popular candidate.
8 million registered voters.
It is not. That's not the issue, because for people to be interested in coming out to vote you, there must be something they see in you. And if these people say they will not come out to vote for whatever reasons, then you agree with me that he didn't impress them. I mean, he didn't, for whatever reason, he didn't impress them. And now there is this allegation that of vote buying. Now, how many votes would he have had if he didn't buy votes?
Are you directing the allegation to the winner of the election?
I'm directing the allegation to the person who made the allegation. I'm directing the question to the one who made the allegation.
If he did not induce people.
If the winner did not induce people with money, then how many votes will he have had? When he could only muster 187,000 votes out of expected.
Yes, like INEC even gave the total numbers of people that registered. He said the total number of voters. He gave it starting at 360,753. Then he said that is
registered
votes
voters.
cast. No, vote cast.
Okay.
The votes cast. And the valid votes
Yes.
were 351,865,000. That means he put 187 out of all these valid votes, and it's almost is more than 1,000 that this is a runner-up or the person that came second. His vote is over 1,000, and we cannot dispute this fact that Oyebanji is in the government. His party is the ruling party in the state.
Yes.
And the number of party members in a state who have already shown the number of people that will vote for you.
Okay.
That's one. And these people are the ones that will canvass people, their brothers, their sisters, their wives. So, in the allegation of buying votes that were directed to, that he was alleged of, the APC was alleged of, I want to come in here, like you and I, perhaps you should also be aware, like Nigerians have, that during the primaries, all primaries that we have of these two big parties that you talked about,
Yes.
you know, there were allegations of money in the bag, money in envelope, like the brown envelopes they give to some people in some realm.
A lot. We should not.
So if we go into,
we should not belabor the point.
yeah, if you now go into vote buying, the allegation has already started with primaries of parties, political parties. There were these allegations of that aspirant was paid more than this highest bidder of a thing. So this vote buying has been seems to be part of the allegation we always see.
We're fighting a culture that is developing in Nigeria, and that's the culture of vote buying during elections.
That means it has been part of,
even if it is a primaries, a party primaries, you have a lot of vote buying. The one that took place during the APC and PDP presidential primaries is unprecedented.
No, there were allegations too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yes, I agree that they were allegations, but then I don't want us to start from the point. I mean, we're trying to be holier than thou, or try to show to say that until we see, we will not believe.
But some are Thomas.
A lot of people. I have spoken with a lot of these people who participated, who are what do you call them? Delegates for these primary elections, and I know what they said. We're talking about millions. Oh yes.
Wow.
Now, the same thing is going into. It's not just primaries now.
It's now going to the proper election.
And if you look at the voided votes during this Ekiti election, it's running to up to 8,000 plus voided votes. Why would you have voided votes from a state that is as educated, as highly educated as Ekiti state people? I mean, it shows that some voters, they collected money
and did not go
from maybe 2 or 3 candidates. And they had to vote for the 3 of them together.
So maybe that's how the vote
became void. We should look at all these things. They look like joke. But I fear that we will not develop a culture of vote buying in Nigeria. It doesn't bring out the best.
It seems it's becoming more.
It's increasing.
It's coming to become a monster.
Yes, it's coming to be. And you cannot. What are the reasons for this? For vote buying? Why do people want to sell their votes?
Why do people want to buy votes?
People want to buy votes because they are desperate. They want to be in power at all costs. Yes, we can understand that.
Why do people want to sell their votes?
But why would people want to sell their votes? 5,000 naira, for God's sake. How long will it take somebody to spend 5,000 naira?
But for that.
But how long can you suffer for that 5,000 naira? How long can you suffer if the candidate that cannot give the best that the society really wants? and gets into power, if that candidate gets into power, what kind of pain will the society go through in the 4 years that this one will reign? I'm not referring to any candidate now. I'm just generalizing. Now, let me tell you something. I believe that all the parties that participated in the Ekiti election, all of them,
one way or the other, guilty
of
this vote buying.
They are guilty of vote buying. They are guilty of vote buying. It's just that some people outbought.
That's it.
Because I heard that they were talking about up to 8,000 naira per vote for some people,
10,000
up to 5,000 for some others, up to 3,000 for others.
Depending on how big
your purse is and how much votes you want to buy.
So do we really need vote buying in Nigeria? Do they really need vote buying? Do politicians with the political parties, do they really need vote buying?
The implication of vote buying is great. It's far-reaching.
Now,
you know that people who can deliver will not bother to come out because they don't have the kind of money. They know that at the end of the day, if you cannot buy vote, you're just wasting your time. So they won't come out. Invariably, who do we have at the helms of affair? I just hope and I pray that Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, who is now the governor elect of, that he will be one that will deliver on his promises, on the expectation of the people of Ekiti State, because it will be a loss for Ekiti State people if invariably all this enthusiasm, you cannot produce what they expect. It's
have you not seen? Don't you see an improvement in the process of the electoral process, the recent electoral process? Like I will come in here, the United Kingdom government.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday or today? Yesterday. Okay. Yesterday
on Monday.
Okay.
Commended through it, commended the people of Ekiti State, the electoral body, the security agencies, the civil society, and
the
observers that for the success of the conduct of the election. Now, they noted that in all the 16 local government of Ekiti State, in the collation centers, the moment they are collating, after collation, there is a portal. INEC has a portal that the result is already on the portal.
Okay.
So they said this is an improvement. They commended the electoral body for that improvement. That if you say you want to snatch ballot box, before they take it to already it's on the portal of the electoral body.
Okay.
They now, like you said, they mentioned the allegation of vote buying, and though they try to urge the people in the appropriate quarters to dig into the allegations and bring all those that are caught, that are culpable to book. Then by commending INEC, that means we are about to see. Some said the moment you do your accreditation, the next thing you go and vote.
Okay.
And the collation, already the result is on the portal. So that's like before the announcement, people will hear that it's already in the portal. If you have a portal of the INEC, it's IREV.
Okay.
I can't recollect the full pronunciation of IREV, but that's the portal that INEC has.
Okay.
So, what do you see about this improvement of the electoral process brought by the electoral body?
For me, I would say that it's commendable on the part of INEC, because of course the noise of malpractices is very, very low. When you look, it's the lowest I've heard when you consider the
Previous.
when you compare the Ekiti
to the previous
election
one,
to the previous one, that was, I mean, and it was a peaceful process. I mean, a peaceful
process
election. And for me, it's highly commendable. And it is this. That's the reason why, in some quarters of the media, they are trying to hype the vote buying issue.
There is need to hype it. There is need for hype. Don't you think there is need to hype the vote buying? We are hyping it too here.
Well, I would have loved that they hype the peaceful atmosphere that prevailed during the election, and so on and so forth. There were no incidents of violence.
Those who wanted to cause violence were apprehended. They were apprehended before they even move around to. That's nice. Another thing, the UK government.
I also want to commend the UK government for their interest in the growth of democracy in Nigeria. A lot of people have the opinion that what Nigeria actually need is improvement on the leadership qualities of
the leadership
of Nigeria. And if we're looking for that, then we must be interested in the process that brings such leaders to power. And the way you come to power will depend on how you use power. And I think it's the whole process overall. I want to say that it is commendable.
And on the part of INEC.
On the part of INEC.
Now it's not on the part of the voters. Majority of the voters that took some money to vote, on the part of the political parties too. So we are having this problem of
the
voting, buying vote.
The political parties laid the precedents. They weren't a good example, because if the public saw what happened during the primaries, they will feel that the best candidates are not coming out. That the process, they are not confident that.
That means it's the highest bidder. Always the highest bidder.
It's about the highest bidder, and I don't know. It goes a long way.
Looking at it, you might say that if you want to go to election, if you are going into political election and you want to, let's say you want to contest for an electoral office, an elective office now, that means you have to gather enough money, no matter the intentions you have, that you must have enough that a pauper cannot go into cannot contest for an election.
Well, anyone who wants to be a leader must learn how to think outside of the box. In my own opinion, I feel that we've been discussing the issue of
vote buying,
of independent candidates. If you are an independent candidate, you won't have to go through
all this process of
primaries, so that.
But we've not had that one independent candidate. I think they just brought the independent candidate the last election, or when?
We've not had one.
We've not had.
But then we should begin to think about that, and then the other parties should think of coming up. If they are not spending a lot of money during primaries, then they should be able to spend their money to promote their parties. Because for me, most of these other parties are simply anonymous. I don't know much about them. I only know the ones, the big ones
that trailed each other. Just like three parties.
Yes. So we need to, we not just the voters alone, but people who registered other parties. For what purpose were those parties registered? If you look at the voters' sheet, you will see a list of more than up to about 100
political parties.
Political parties. Then what are they for? The people must have a vision, and we need to see their vision. They must think outside of the box. They must be creative. They must do a lot. They must a lot more Let me put it that way. So that these parties will be acceptable to appropriate
the electorate.
electorates.
And then, how do you think, how can the country come out of this menace
buying.
of vote buying? Can we come? Can it be eradicated?
A lot depends on the leader that will have, or that can come out of this process
That we have.
because one of the reasons why people will want to buy their votes, sell their votes, is because of poverty. And not just that, because of a lot of disappointment. They are disappointed in the government in power, and they feel that the
That's
government,
their own chance of
that the promises of government is not forthcoming, and that the only thing they can have
is to make
is to-
some
is to co- is to
little
make
points
some-
from the crumbs. The crumbs. That's the crumbs.
if it's only for beer
That's
and
why
pepper soup,
yes.
they will just so that all their own will
That
not
means
get-
we don't really understand the reason. Say majority voters don't really understand why they are casting their vote, or they just look at it as, what's the essence of casting their vote? Let me take some money. After they get there, I won't see them again. They won't take care of me again. So that means we have leadership problem in vote buying. That is the problem in vote buying. We have it, and now we are coming gradually to the end of the program.
Okay.
And we still have to remind us, it is being said, no matter the aspect of the allegation of vote buying, we have to look at ourselves as free individuals, citizens that want a good country for ourselves. We want to move our nation forward by having that individual determination that, yes, I'm a Nigerian, I'm proudly Nigerian. That I want to contribute to the future of my country.
Yes.
And the only way is through
Your PVC.
your PVC. Because this is the only chance we have again. Yeah, like they used to tell us, normally that's how it used to be. Government is a government by the people, of the people. But it is during the voting process that I think it's like that.
Yeah, that's-
After the election, it is the people, the government itself is for the policy makers, because they are the ones that will now sit down and make policies that will affect our lives or everybody. So your PVC is important.
Yes.
There is no two ways about it.
Yes. No two way.
It's your right, your civic responsibility to vote. If you choose to sit on the fence, we've said it before, it makes no difference. Just somebody that is there will just cast his vote. Your one vote could make you have an impact. So we are only appealing to you, like Nigerians. We want better country for ourselves. We want to see our country say the giant of Africa. Let it be written that this is the true giant of Africa. 2023
It's around the corner.
is around the corner, forthcoming, fast approaching. Now, do you want to go back to the same old story? Won't we use this opportunity to get a good leader that we believe? And how do we even see somebody as a good leader? How?
We have to settle down and maybe talk about that in the next
But
subsequent.
to give them an hint, just an hint, how do we have a good leader? Or what process? How can a citizen, a voter, know that I want to cast my vote? How will you know that this person I want to cast?
You must get educated about all the aspirants and the candidates that are coming out. When you educate yourselves about them,
Check their profiles.
check what they've done before, check
Antecedents.
where they have been, check where they are coming from, then you probably be able to figure out where they are going. And without education, you cannot. What I mean by education is not is
Not
educating
the
yourself
about
about
the process and the people
process.
that will represent you.
And most importantly, you must get a PVC.
That's
And
not power.
and you don't just have a PVC. You must get to vote. Use them to vote.
Don't sell your vote. You sell your vote, it can make you a millionaire. sell your boat. You can't buy a car with just a car. Abi,
You can buy a bottle of beer.
you buy a bottle of beer, go
And a
home,
plate of pepper soup.
or go home and give your wife to cook rice and do all sorts for you. And that is then after
That's
eating
the-
it,
and
you
it's
go
paid
back.
for 4
Yes, it's just the pain.
Pays for
Well,
years.
They say, how do they say? That is not for the wise. How do you,
A
word is enough for the wise.
And about time to say
And
goodbye.
we are saying our own. It's not all about buying vote. We've had leaders that made us feel that no. We've had leaders that had fought for the people that they don't need to give you money. They talk to you and you look at it. They lead the right way. So let's sit down in our homes, do the research.
Bimbo, it might be a good time to
Talk. That maybe we talk about it. We are I'm
to
already
start
carried
saying
away.
goodbye.
I said
To start saying
the
goodbye.
program is about is coming to an end. Now I'm going. Well, it's a nice being here to talk about this issue, this national and trending national issue. Once again,
It's goodbye.
it's goodbye today. For now, we'll be back soon.
Can be sure about that.
K Links TV, the leading experience.